Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch Team is here with a tropical weather update on Tropical Cyclone Ilsa, northwest of Australia. We're going to be talking about the strength of the storm, its impacts, and where the storm is going to be headed, and how to prepare for the storm. Alright, let's get right into this video. Alright, first thing I want to talk about is currently Tropical Storm Ilsa has developed rapidly during the past 6 hours. It currently has very symmetric structure with bursting convection evident. We're now starting to see a pinhole eye begin to develop here. As you can see, very large outflow here with the system. And you can clearly see the storm is intensifying. Lots of consistent deep convection near the center. And we're now starting to see that pinhole eye develop. According to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, as of 1200 UTC, it has winds of 100 knots, which equates to about 115 miles an hour. That is 1 minute sustained winds. According to the Bureau of Meteorology in Australia, they currently analyze the system to have winds of around 105 miles an hour, around 90 knots. And that is 10 minutes sustained. So looking at the conditions for its intensification, the conditions are currently very, very favorable for Ilsa's intensification. Now I do expect to see consistent intensification with this system because of how well the conditions are atmospherically. They're very, very favorable. There's very, very low to moderate wind shear at the high or mid level, and the moisture is really at around 50 to 60% right now. Temperatures are very, very warm at around 30 degrees Celsius. The upper divergence is expected to increase in the south ahead of the approaching mid-latitude trough, which may further support Ilsa's intensification. That just allows more outflow to occur, more outflow to happen, and it's going to bring more moisture up through the center and allow for more deep thunderstorm activity and convection near the center, and that's going to allow for the storm to continue to rapidly intensify, and that's why we think we could see this reach Category 4 strength relatively quickly. Now, we do have about just around 24 hours until it makes landfall. So right now it has 115 mile an hour winds. By tomorrow we'll see how strong it is. So it's very, very strong where it is right now, and it's going to rapidly intensify. It's already at 115 miles an hour according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and we could see this reach as high as 155 miles per hour. Looking at this, so again, we still want to talk a little bit about the forecast. Here's a forecast cone right here. This is where it currently is at right here. It's going to move right through here, and is expected to make landfall as a Category 4 tropical cyclone. There, as you can see, right here, we do have an entire cyclone warning. Through this entire area, we have a watch where the possibility of, say, tropical cyclone conditions are possible in the next 36 to 48 hours. Tropical cyclone conditions are imminent in the next 24 hours in that area. So talk about the forecast is expected to move southwest parallel to and offshore of the Kimberley coast during Wednesday before turning south and then southeast during Thursday with a coastal crossing likely later Thursday or early Friday between De Grey and Bidiadanga. I don't know how to pronounce. I physically do not know how to pronounce that. The forecast track is based on a standard consensus of numerical weather prediction models. These numerical models have been very consistent, and with looking at the mid-upper level ridge over the Northern Territory approaching, and an approaching upper trough over southwestern and western Australia, there's relatively high confidence in this forecast track. So saying that, we do have very high confidence that we are going to be seeing this storm, and we have high expectations of this system and what it's going to be capable of. Right now it is a Category 3 tropical cyclone. Right? Yeah, Category 3. Did I go too far? I think I went too far. I did indeed go too far. The cyclone forecast is in fact expected to transition into a severe tropical cyclone Wednesday and may reach as high as a Category 4 intensity Thursday with a landfall of 95 knots, 10 minutes sustained, a Category 4 on the Australian scale, or a Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, or around 110 knots, 1 minute sustained. In the long term, the cyclone forecast is expected to move over central Australia and begin to transition to a deep subtropical system as it interacts with the subtropical jet up overhead. Looking at the H4 forecast model, currently the solution expects that Ilsa will peak with 1 minute sustained winds of 135 knots. It's about 155 miles per hour, with an air pressure there at around 923 millibars. The landfall is expected around 1200 UTC, about 8 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time on Thursday. Significant rainfall accumulations, damaging winds, storm surge, and the possibility of an isolated tornado or two are all going to be threats with this storm. So again, upwards of 135 knots, an air pressure of 923 millibars is the peak of the H4 is predicting. I do want to talk a little bit about cyclone preparedness. This is a very, very important part. Creating an emergency kit. It should include all essential items, including non-perishable food, bottled water, a first aid kit, flashlights, extra batteries. Additionally, it is essential to have important documents like IDs, insurance policies stored in a waterproof container to where these would not get damaged by the flooding and storm surge. Develop an evacuation plan. If you do happen to want to evacuate, create an evacuation plan. If you live in an area that is vulnerable to tropical cyclones, if you live in a low-lying area, or if you just happen to live on or near the coast, know a place to evacuate quickly. If necessary, determine a safe location where you and your family can stay. Also, have a predetermined route, because oftentimes there will be roads closed and you'll have to be prepared to take alternative routes to get to your location. Secure your property, minimize damage caused by high winds. Make sure that you trim your trees and bushes around your property. Additionally, secure outdoor furniture and other items that could be picked up by strong winds. If possible, cover windows and doors with shutters or plywood. Protect against flying debris. That is in the case that if you do happen to be staying and riding the storm out at your home. I do want to thank our supporters. We do have 3 supporters. Thank you all for supporting us. Again, this does help us be able to afford WSV3 and some other and the software that we use for here at the Hurricane Watch team. We do appreciate all the support that y'all have given us. Thank you so much, and yeah, we'll continue to be talking about the system and more of its impacts to Australia. Follow us on Twitter, subscribe, like, and share. Support us for as low as just starting at just $1 a month on Patreon. Join our Discord server. Links are in the description below. Don't forget, when you join our Discord server, you can talk to myself, Arya, or other members of the Hurricane Watch team and talk to them about what is going to be happening with a storm or anything weather related, and we will talk you through that weather event. Thank you for watching, guys. This has been the Hurricane Watch team. Thank you so much for watching. As always, this has been the Hurricane Watch team. Stay safe out there. Peace out.